Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Fireball Mullet Channel. I'm Stan Kennedy, and today's episode we're going to be installing these functional hood vents I bought from Nicholas Morrow at Morrow Motorsports. So we're going to check it out, man. These are custom built, and you are able to kind of tweak them, unlike the Tracspecs or any of those other type of models. And this worked perfect because it helped clear the blower even more, which was my major concern. Most of them will not clear the blower. So let's get right to it, guys. All right, let's go ahead, and that's about where we want it. Just gonna line these to the holes through the template and just kind of see how this thing is sitting. Measurements look good. It's kind of hard to get some reference points because this is different from the hood edge here back to the windshield or the cowl. So both of these sides are different here. So I really like this straight line here, and that's kind of where I'm going on as a reference. So that's kind of what I'm using as a reference, is just positioning it here and trying to figure out how close I want it in. All right guys, got the other side measured. You just gotta do it about 50 times, taking it on and off. And the way I did it is just kind of looking at each hole. I kind of put this on there and then make sure that it lines up and it's kind of oriented right, measure. Very tedious if you want to get it as perfect as possible. And I think this is pretty good. Now, I went ahead and just set the other one on there just to kind of look at both of them on there without them being mounted, just to make sure the orientation and everything was well. Anyway, let's go ahead and mark this one. And just like that, we've got that all measured up as well. So I guess we're ready to go ahead and tape everything off. Mask it all up, and let's put the cutting wheel to it. Guys, it's a moment of truth. Cut twice, measure once, I guess they say.
this is the hardware that I picked up. They are 8-32 button head machine screws. This is 3/4 of an inch, I believe. Also got some 1/2 inch, so depending on if it was some under bracing under the hood, I needed a little bit longer. So I got a mix of those. And then of course I got some lock nuts as well. Also got some washers, but I ended up not using those just because they were about the same size as this, so they were kind of worthless. Anyway, that's what I use, and then I just painted the heads of these semi-gloss black, put them through a piece of cardboard, and then made sure that I hit the sides in this, and then waited overnight, and they were all set. So that's what I used to mount the pieces. Now what I did was I put one on each corner of the louver, and then I ended up drilling the holes in the louver with those two screws in, and I just went ahead and drilled through the louver and through the hood at the same time, because these were a little bit too big for the holes in the louver. So that gave me enough to where these would just drop in, go straight through the hood and the louver, and everything lined up great. So that's the way I mounted it. Yeah, wow, that's awesome, man. Just feeling that hot air blow through there. I gotta get some more hardware here for a couple more of these, but man, just testing it out. You can feel the fans blowing all that hot air out of the engine bay. That is amazing. Man, it's crazy. Awesome. This is exactly what I wanted to know. See the heat coming out of it. It's crazy. Super happy the way they turned out. Alright guys, so I haven't quite cleaned the car up yet. Still a little bit of fingerprints all over the place. But I wanted to give you a quick overview. What I love about these is I don't have a lot of clearance at all with this blower right in here. So I couldn't do the two on the corner. I couldn't put the hardware on the corner there, and I ended up using an 8-32 button heads, and I painted them black. But I got them all in. They're nice and secure, except for this corner one. Again, I mean, this blower is really close. It's literally like 1/4 of an inch. But what I love about the Nicholas Morrows is you can tweak these a little bit, just kind of twisting them, and then I can set how aggressive I want these. So I got them super aggressive up front, and then they kind of flatten out right here where the blower is. And this is really the only spot that the blower, so I cut out underneath the hood, I cut out a little bit more of the bracing here, and now we clear. I did have to raise the hood just a little bit on the adjustments on the bump stop,
and we got it pretty close. So I think it's gonna be good from there. So, man, these things are just freaking killer. If you just kind of look in there, it's sick, man. I love it. So guys, that's the hood vents, man. They are pretty kick-ass, and I'm pretty happy with them. The car is looking great, even though I really need to do another detail on it, but it's pretty kick-ass, man. And I'm loving it. The heat extractors was really like my last thing on the exterior of the car. This thing is so badass. Yesterday I was just looking at it in the garage and I was like, this is exactly what I envisioned. Basically a stock looking IROC with a little bit of some modern upgrades from an aesthetic point of view. And that's exactly what we were trying to achieve. The other thing, guys, is I went ahead, some of you guys that follow me on Instagram, Fireball Mullet, you know that I got this new badge here, which is pretty cool. So I'm pretty excited about that. And for you guys, it says I'm writing a paragraph on my bumper. This is actually the same number of characters as tune port injection. And it's actually less than if it said 5.7 tune port injection. And you know, I love it, man. I think it just it's subtle enough, but it's just a nice sort of way that I like to present the car. Kind of the car, guys. I just wanted to wrap this up and kind of give you kind of the finished product. All right, guys, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm super excited, and it's just awesome where the car is right now. I was delayed on the clutch video, so I apologize for that, and I was also delayed on the true dual speed engineering exhaust. I've been a little under the weather, so we're hoping next week to get those tackled. So I'll be actually doing the work this following week, and then we'll do some video editing and get that right out to you guys. So true dual exhaust,